Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it, and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a lovely Breguet Type XX Aeronavale, 39mm in lush red gold. This is a timepiece that evokes Breguet's classic 20th century French military pilot's watch, but with modern fit, finish, and refinement. You can see it's also characteristically Breguet in its lugs, in its case profile, and its dial details. A timepiece, 39mm in diameter, and lug-to-lug, a wonderfully accommodating 45.9mm. The watch is neither thick nor thin at 14.4mm thick, so it'll slide underneath most dress cuffs, but absolutely all jacket sleeves. Breguet designed this watch prior to the arrival of the Swatch Group during the 1990s. So this is a design of the 90s. Swatch arrived right at the turn of the millennium, and this is one of the things that InvestCorp era Breguet undoubtedly had going right. This watch simply sizzles. The 21mm spacing between the lugs was way ahead of its time, as that broad, greater than 20mm lug spacing is one of the hallmarks of 21st century watch design, and again, as a design of the 90s, this was a remarkably forward-looking interpretation of the classic 20th century Type 20 aviator's chronograph. The strap that's fitted is a high-grade Breguet factory strap. It is a new Breguet factory strap, so you'll find that you get the first opportunity to crimp and gouge it. Navy blue, it features a semi-gloss finish, large rectangular scale alligator leather, unbolstered, monotone stitch with a folded edge. Let's pop this out and we'll take a closer look at the deployant clasp, which you can see is Breguet branded, rose gold, and substantial, ensuring a bit of protection against accidental droppage while donning or removing at bedside. You can see the vintage-inspired pump-style chronograph pushers and the crown, which is a screw-down unit, as this is a pilot's watch. Nevertheless, 100 meters water-resistant. It is swimmable provided you throw it on a water-resistant band. You can see the strap is in brand new condition, and the case band is characteristically Breguet with the tapered, almost teardrop-like lug profile and the coined case flank with a bezel knurling to match. You can see that the bezel itself is a bidirectional rotating aviator style bezel, which means you can turn it in either direction, and has a rather sharp and pronounced detent for an aviator's bezel, as these tend to be gummier and less distinct than dive bezels. This one's actually excellent. Now, in the day, and I say in the day because this is an original 1990s tritium dial, and thus it is dead as a doornail, and that's both hands and dial. You can line up the index of the bezel with the minute hand, and you can time an interval up to 60 minutes. It's a wonderful parallel timing organ that you can use if you need to time something longer than 30 minutes. The watch, of course, featuring a chronograph with flyback action, as with the original Type 20. The flyback action allows you to reset and restart with one push of the reset trigger. On the dial, you can see it is a lush and lovely gloss blue, the fading of the tritium Arabic numerals, which are a lovely vintage font, beautifully contrasts with the blue, while unanticipated in the 1990s, but today handsomely complementing the rose tone of the case. The watch features a big eye style chronograph minutes counter designed to be larger for easier legibility than the relatively less consequential constant seconds in chronograph hours. Syringe style hands, white varnished at center with a bob counterweight semi-lollipop chronograph seconds. Now, the watch, of course, can be started and stopped in conventional fashion and reset likewise. You have the ability to operate it as a flyback or conventional stop, start, reset. Underneath the case back, the Breguet caliber 382. Now you're wondering what's the difference between the Aeronavale and the Transatlantique. Well, the difference is whether the movement is equipped with a date or a simple, historically accurate no-date dial. The Aeronavale has no date, and the Transatlantique does. So we have the caliber 582 inside. It's based on the Lemania 1350 from the 1970s, which is one of the finest, that is toughest, most accurate, and most enduring cam-style chronograph movements ever made. Automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve. It features 24 joules, beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is a cam lateral clutch chrono, but well-tuned by Breguet. It has wonderfully positive feel about the pushers. Here, have a listen against the mic. It's very sharp, and it could pass for a column wheel. Now the timepiece, of course, wonderfully versatile in that you have an odd and somewhat unintentional automatic winding, roughly 40mm sized, no-date chronograph that could go head-to-head with a Rolex Daytona on a strap. And if that seems like an unlikely comparison, these two happen to be on converging course lines as Rolex is rolling out more and more sports-style Daytonas on straps. I guarantee you, this one costs less, offers more exclusivity, and, one might say, more historical charm as the Type 20 precedes the Cosmograph Daytona by a solid 8 model years in the mid-20th century. In a lot of respects, this one is the original. See it and take wing on the Watchbox.